What if I told you that some of the foods you've always considered safe or even healthy could turn against you when paired with the wrong partner on your plate? It's not always about the food itself, but about the dangerous reactions that happen inside your body when certain things are combined. And here's the hidden truth: seniors are far more vulnerable to these interactions than younger people because the body's metabolism slows down, organs filter more slowly, and most importantly, many older adults take daily medications that can clash with everyday foods. You may believe you're doing everything right, eating fruit for vitamins, drinking milk for calcium, enjoying a cup of coffee for energy, but in reality, you could be canceling out important nutrients, reducing the effect of life-saving pills, or even creating toxic levels of drugs in your blood. Let's begin with one of the most shocking examples: grapefruit. This simple fruit packed with vitamin C has a dark side that few people talk about. Grapefruit contains natural compounds that interfere with enzymes in your liver. These enzymes normally help break down many common medications, including pills for high blood pressure, cholesterol, and heart rhythm. But when the enzymes are blocked, your body absorbs far too much of the drug, and instead of being helpful, it becomes harmful. Imagine taking a medication prescribed to gently lower your blood pressure, but because of a single glass of grapefruit juice, the drug builds up and drops your pressure so low that you feel dizzy, faint, or even end up in the hospital. Or think about statins, the popular cholesterol-lowering medications. When mixed with grapefruit, they can reach toxic levels and begin to damage your muscles. It doesn't take weeks or months. Sometimes one glass of juice is enough. Now, here's the part that surprises most seniors. This interaction isn't rare. It's extremely common. Millions of older adults combine their morning pills with breakfast juice, unaware that the fruit they believe is helping them may be sabotaging their treatment. The safe choice is simple. If you're on medication, ask your doctor or pharmacist specifically whether grapefruit is safe for you. If not, swap it out for oranges, tangerines, or berries, which deliver vitamin C without the hidden risk. Next, let's talk about milk and dairy products. For decades, we've been told to drink milk for strong bones and calcium. And it's true, calcium is critical for bone strength, especially in older age. But here's the dangerous twist. Calcium has a powerful binding effect inside your stomach. When you swallow certain antibiotics or iron supplements with milk, yogurt, or cheese, the calcium latches onto those molecules like glue. Instead of being absorbed into your bloodstream, the medication gets trapped and your body flushes it out. In other words, the pill you took so faithfully never really entered your system. For someone fighting an infection, that can mean days of wasted treatment. For someone trying to raise their iron levels and prevent anemia, it can mean continued fatigue and weakness, even though they're taking supplements every day. The solution here is not to give up dairy altogether, but to separate it from your pills. If you need to take antibiotics or iron, give your body at least 2 hours of space before or after eating dairy. That way, the medicine can do its job and the calcium can still support your bones. Think of it as creating peace between two strong personalities. Each works best when they don't bump into each other at the same time. Another combination that often slips under the radar involves spinach, beets, and other foods rich in oxalates, paired with dairy products like cottage cheese or hard cheese. Spinach and beets are excellent for seniors, full of vitamins, fiber, and plant-based compounds that support your heart and blood vessels. But they also contain oxalates, which, when mixed with calcium, can form crystals. Over time, these crystals contribute to kidney stones, a painful condition that becomes more common with age. So what happens when you regularly eat spinach salad with cheese or beet soup with sour cream? You may unknowingly be setting the stage for stone formation. The simple fix is balance. Don't avoid these foods entirely, but avoid always pairing oxalate-rich vegetables with calcium-rich dairy in the same meal. Spread them out across the day and drink plenty of water to keep your kidneys flushed and safe. And here's a point worth repeating. It's not about eliminating healthy foods, it's about respecting how they interact. The danger is hidden not in the spinach or the cheese alone, but in the way your body processes them together. This is one of the reasons nutrition for seniors requires a little more care and attention than in earlier years. Now let's move to something sweet and innocent: bananas. Who doesn't love a banana? They're soft, easy to digest, full of potassium, and often recommended for heart health. But here's the critical detail: potassium is a mineral that directly affects the balance of fluids and the electrical rhythm of your heart. And many common medications for seniors, particularly beta blockers or ACE inhibitors prescribed for blood pressure and heart failure, already raise potassium levels in the blood. Combine these pills with several bananas a day, and you risk a condition called hyperkalemia, dangerously high potassium. Symptoms range from fatigue and muscle weakness to irregular heartbeat and even sudden cardiac arrest. This doesn't mean you should never eat bananas. It means you should be mindful, especially if you're on these medications. One banana here and there is usually safe, but a daily routine of multiple bananas or combining them with potassium supplements can push your levels too high. The best step is to get your potassium checked with a simple blood test if you're on these drugs. Then adjust your diet accordingly. The hidden lesson in all of this is simple but profound. Foods and medicines, or even foods with other foods, can act like partners in a dance. Sometimes the dance is graceful and they move together in harmony, but other times they step on each other's toes, creating chaos and danger. Seniors, more than anyone, must pay attention to these combinations because the consequences can come quickly and without warning. So, as you think about your next meal or the pills waiting by your breakfast plate, remember it's not only what you eat, but what you eat with what and when you eat it that matters. A few small changes in timing, awareness, and balance can mean the difference between silent damage and steady, safe health. Think for a moment about your daily routine. For many seniors, it starts with a hot drink, a comforting cup of tea or coffee. It warms the hands, awakens the mind, and feels almost sacred, like a ritual that has been repeated for decades. But here's the hidden danger. Tea and coffee contain tannins and polyphenols, plant compounds that can interfere with the absorption of iron, and iron, as you know, is essential for producing healthy red blood cells. Without enough of it, you may suffer from anemia, a condition that brings fatigue, pale skin, weakness, and shortness of breath. Now imagine this common scene. You take your iron supplement faithfully, just as the doctor prescribed, and then, without thinking, you sip your morning coffee. What happens inside your body is that the tannins bind to the iron in your stomach, locking it away and preventing it from entering your bloodstream. The pill you took is now wasted. The same can happen when you eat iron-rich foods like beans, spinach, or meat alongside your tea. The iron is there, but your body can't use it. The solution: timing. If you rely on iron supplements or struggle with low iron levels, avoid drinking tea or coffee an hour before and an hour after your pill or meal. Instead, pair iron with vitamin C, a glass of water with lemon or an orange. Vitamin C boosts absorption, while tannins block it. A small adjustment in routine can transform your energy levels and protect you from the invisible fatigue of anemia. Now let's address something even more dangerous: alcohol mixed with medications. Many seniors enjoy a small glass of wine with dinner, or perhaps a stronger drink on special occasions. And while moderate drinking may seem harmless, combining alcohol with common medications can create a storm inside the body. Pain relievers like acetaminophen or ibuprofen, when taken with alcohol, place enormous stress on the liver. What might feel like mild relief for a headache or arthritis can turn into silent liver damage over time. Sedatives, sleeping pills, and anxiety medications, when paired with alcohol, can dangerously slow your breathing and heart rate. And blood-thinning drugs like warfarin can become unpredictable when mixed with even small amounts of alcohol, raising the risk of internal bleeding. Here's the trap: alcohol and medication don't always react immediately. Sometimes the effects build silently. You may think, "I've been fine having a drink with my pills for years," but the hidden damage accumulates until one day it suddenly shows itself. The safest step is clear. If you take daily medications, especially for pain, sleep, or the heart, avoid alcohol or at the very least, discuss with your doctor whether even occasional drinks are safe for you. Remember, what feels like a harmless glass can carry hidden consequences when combined with modern drugs. Now let's turn to something far less obvious, yet incredibly common: salt. Not just the salt you sprinkle on your food, but the hidden sodium packed into processed foods: bread, canned soup, sausages, cheese, sauces, and snacks. For seniors, sodium is one of the most dangerous silent killers. It raises blood pressure, strains the kidneys, and damages blood vessels. But here's where combinations matter. It's not only the pinch of salt you add at the table, it's the combination of all the sodium sources you eat throughout the day that makes the difference. Breakfast cereal, bread, processed cheese, and a slice of ham may each seem harmless alone, but together they create a sodium overload. Your body responds by retaining water, your heart works harder, and your blood pressure climbs. This is especially dangerous if you're already on medication to lower pressure. The pills fight to bring your numbers down while the sodium pushes them up. It's like pulling a rope in opposite directions, and your body is caught in the middle. The good news? Awareness is power. Begin by reading labels. Look at the sodium content, not just the calories. You'll be shocked at how much salt is hidden in foods you never considered salty. Swap processed items for fresh vegetables, lean meats, and whole grains. Use herbs and spices instead of extra salt to flavor your meals. And if you're going to indulge in something salty, balance it with foods rich in potassium, like leafy greens or beans, which help the body flush out excess sodium. But the most important principle is this: seniors don't have as much room for error as younger people. The kidneys filter more slowly. The heart pumps with more effort. What feels like a small indulgence, an extra salty snack, a casual drink, a coffee with your supplement, can carry consequences that stack up silently over weeks, months, and years. Let me give you a simple picture. Imagine your body as a finely tuned orchestra. Each organ is an instrument, each nutrient a note. When everything is balanced, the music is smooth, rich, and beautiful. But introduce the wrong combination: alcohol with pills, salt with blood pressure drugs, tea with iron, and the harmony shatters. The instruments clash, the rhythm breaks, and what was once healthy music turns into noise. The choices you make each day are like the conductor's baton. A small adjustment, moving your coffee an hour later, drinking water instead of wine with pills, choosing fresh food instead of packaged, can bring the orchestra back into balance. And the result is not just avoiding danger, but feeling lighter, more energetic, and more in control of your health. So remember this as we move forward. It's not about perfection. You don't need to fear every meal or overthink every bite. It's about awareness, about understanding the hidden traps that many seniors fall into and stepping carefully around them. By doing so, you take back power over your body, your energy, and your future. As we continue exploring these hidden dangers, it's important to realize that most of the risky combinations aren't exotic or unusual. They happen right at your kitchen table during ordinary meals you've enjoyed for years. That's why they're so dangerous. They hide in plain sight. Think about the simple habit of mixing high fiber bran cereals with certain medications. Fiber is wonderful for digestion, helps regulate blood sugar, and supports weight control. But when taken in very high amounts, and especially when swallowed at the same time as thyroid medication or antidepressants, fiber can interfere with absorption. The medicine passes through your system too quickly, leaving your condition untreated even though you're following your prescription faithfully. Many seniors trying to eat healthy increase their fiber intake without knowing they're blocking their pills. The easy solution is spacing. Take your medication first with water, wait an hour, and then enjoy your high fiber breakfast. Another hidden trap lies in combining calcium supplements with multivitamins that contain zinc or magnesium. On their own, each mineral is valuable, but inside the stomach they can compete and calcium often wins the battle, reducing the absorption of the others. For someone already struggling with weak immunity or muscle cramps, this imbalance can make matters worse. It's a reminder that more is not always better, and timing matters just as much as quantity. Now picture another scene. You're enjoying a comforting dinner of pasta with tomato sauce and a glass of red wine. Sounds harmless, even elegant. But if you're taking antidepressant medications called MAO inhibitors, this combination can become dangerous. Tomatoes, aged cheeses, wine, and cured meats are all high in tyramine, a compound that, when mixed with MAO inhibitors, can trigger a sudden spike in blood pressure, and sometimes so severe it leads to a stroke. This is why doctors are cautious with these prescriptions, yet many seniors don't realize how everyday foods fit into the equation. Let's step back and see the bigger picture. These combinations matter because the senior body operates like a delicate balance. Younger people may get away with skipping meals, drinking coffee late at night, or mixing junk food with their medicine, but for seniors, the margin of safety is much smaller. The kidneys, liver, and digestive tract don't filter and absorb as quickly. The heart doesn't tolerate sudden changes as well, so what looks like a small slip can create real consequences. The encouraging news is that awareness gives you freedom. Instead of fearing every meal, you learn to adjust. Instead of worrying that every bite is dangerous, you create a routine that naturally avoids clashes. For example, if you enjoy your morning banana but take blood pressure medicine, limit yourself to half a banana or enjoy it at lunch instead of breakfast. If you love spinach and cottage cheese, enjoy them on different days rather than the same plate. If coffee is a must, have it mid-morning after your body has absorbed your supplements. These are small, simple shifts that create safety without stealing away joy. There's also the emotional side of eating that seniors should not overlook. Food is not only fuel, it's memory, comfort, culture, and connection. For many, a favorite dish carries decades of family tradition. That's why the goal here is never elimination. Not to strip away the foods that give life flavor, but to combine them wisely so they continue to bring comfort without risk. It's not about saying goodbye to cheese or coffee or bananas. It's about knowing when and how they fit best into your unique routine. One helpful tool is to keep a simple food and medicine journal. For 1 week, write down what you eat, when you take your pills, and how you feel afterward. Patterns often appear quickly. You may notice that your iron levels stay low despite supplements, and then realize you always take them with tea. You may discover that certain dinners leave you unusually tired. Perhaps the wine with your pain medication is the cause. By connecting the dots, you become your own detective, protecting your body with knowledge no one else can give you. Another powerful approach is hydration. Water is the safest companion for most medications, and it helps flush your system of excess sodium, oxalates, and toxins. Seniors often underestimate the importance of water, drinking less out of fear of frequent bathroom trips, but proper hydration reduces the risk of kidney stones, balances minerals, and supports every organ. Simply swapping juice or soda for a glass of water when taking medicine can eliminate many of the risks we've discussed. Let me leave you with a simple but powerful thought. The body is resilient, but it is also responsive. When you give it the right conditions, spacing out foods, avoiding clashes, drinking water, respecting the timing of your medications, it rewards you with steadier energy, clearer thinking, and better protection against disease. These are not dramatic overnight changes. They are quiet adjustments, but over weeks and months, they create profound results. So as you move through your day, think of your meals not just as isolated foods, but as partners in a conversation. Ask yourself, do these foods support each other or do they fight? Do they help my medicine or block it? Do they build harmony or cause conflict? The answers lie in the small choices you make, and those choices hold the power to keep you strong, balanced, and safe. As we bring everything together, it's worth pausing to remember why these food combinations matter so deeply for seniors. The truth is, you've worked hard for your health. You've survived illnesses, raised families, built lives. Your body has carried you through decades of experience, and now more than ever, it deserves protection. Sometimes protection doesn't come from a new pill or an expensive supplement. It comes from something as simple as knowing which foods to avoid putting on the same plate. Let's return to one of the biggest silent traps, hidden sodium. Many older adults assume they don't eat much salt because they rarely use the shaker at the table. But the reality is far more deceptive. Sodium hides in bread, canned vegetables, frozen meals, sauces, and even breakfast cereals. Each one adds up, meal after meal, until the body is drowning in salt. For someone already on medication to lower blood pressure, this invisible excess can undo all the benefits of the drug. The heart pumps harder, fluid builds up in the ankles and lungs, and blood vessels weaken. Over years, the damage accumulates quietly until it suddenly shows itself in the form of a heart attack or stroke. The solution is not despair, but awareness. By reading labels and choosing fresh foods more often, you gain control. Swap canned soup for homemade, where you can season with herbs instead of salt. Try fresh fruit instead of packaged desserts. Choose lean, unprocessed meats over sausages. These are not sacrifices, but upgrades. Each small step moves your body away from hidden danger and closer to steady, balanced health. Another key to remember is alcohol. It may seem harmless to enjoy a small drink now and then, especially at social events, but for seniors on daily medications, alcohol can act like a match dropped onto dry grass. It may not burn immediately, but given the right conditions, it can ignite quickly. Even one glass of wine can disrupt blood thinners, painkillers, or sleep medications. The safest path is clarity. If you're unsure, ask your doctor. If the risk is real, choose sparkling water with lemon or a non-alcoholic alternative and enjoy the social moment without the hidden cost. At this stage of life, protecting your health is not about strict rules or fear. It's about wisdom. It's about knowing that your body responds differently now than it did decades ago. It's about respecting that difference, honoring it, and adjusting with grace. When you treat your meals with care, separating dairy from pills, spacing out coffee and iron, avoiding too much potassium with certain drugs, and you're not restricting yourself, you're giving yourself freedom, freedom from sudden fatigue, from dizzy spells, from unexpected hospital visits, freedom to keep living the life you've worked so hard to build. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine two people, both in their 70s. One ignores these warnings, mixing pills with grapefruit juice, eating salty packaged meals, drinking wine with pain medication. They may feel fine for a while, but silently their body is fighting battles it cannot win. The other person takes the same medications, enjoys the same foods, but separates them carefully, times them wisely, drinks water, and stays aware. Years later, that small daily wisdom shows up as stronger bones, a steadier heart, more energy, and fewer health crises. Both lived full lives, but only one lived with fewer avoidable dangers. That is the power of knowledge in action. Now, here's something to hold on to. You don't need to make every change overnight. Start with one adjustment. Take your morning coffee an hour later. Move your banana to lunch instead of breakfast. Read the sodium label on your favorite bread and try a lower salt version. Each step is small, but each step is progress. Over time, these steps add up to a new routine, one that protects you quietly day after day. And always remember, food is not the enemy. Grapefruit, milk, spinach, bananas, coffee, all of these can be part of a healthy diet when used wisely. The danger is not the food itself, but the careless combination, the wrong timing, the hidden clash. By respecting these details, you turn potential risks into safe, nourishing meals. So as you finish listening today, carry this message with you. Your health is shaped not only by the big choices, CAMs, surgeries, prescriptions, doctor visits, but also by the small daily habits that build your life. By choosing wisely, by noticing patterns, by respecting how foods and medicines interact, you take control of your story, and in doing so, you give yourself the gift of more days filled with strength, clarity, and peace. You've come this far in life by adapting, learning, and surviving. This is just the next step. A wiser way of eating, a more thoughtful way of combining, and a safer way of living. Protect your body, protect your future. and enjoy the freedom that comes with knowing you are caring for yourself in the best possible way.